Howdy friends, Steve DePoe here for the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Today, 4.5 tips for crafting an offer. But first, before we get started, a favor. Right up here is our YouTube channel, Let's Do Real Estate Texas. I'm going to ask you this week to go to YouTube, find our channel, Let's Do Real Estate Texas, and like us, or rather subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you anything, and what you get is updates when we add a new video or we update a video or something like that. Additionally, if you go down over here and you see next to my name, stevescard.us, that's my electronic business card or my web card. You can use that, you can download it, you can send it to friends, you could use it yourself. It's got access to my weekly vlogs, our website, info on the home buying and selling process. It's just got a lot of information there. And so I'm going to ask you, hey, please go to our YouTube site and also download my web card. Now enough with the commercials. Now 4.5 tips on crafting your offer. So first, do some investigating. So you focus on a house. There's tax records, there's property info, all that kind of thing. What kind of loans there are on the property, who owns the property, and then I would speak to the sales agent for you. And so this gets you some background on potentially why the people are selling, how long they've been there, what their equity in the home is, so you know something about it, not just what the other real estate agent just kind of posted on MLS, but it gives you the idea for the history of the house, you may want to call it. Number two, make your first offer your best offer. Can't tell you how many clients I work with who say, hey, I want to pay, this house is worth this much, but I'm going to offer something down here. Well, yeah, sure. It's great to save, $5,000 or $10,000. That's phenomenal. Okay. But in today's current environment with houses selling for 10, 20, 30, $40,000 above list price and houses getting 6 to 10 offers within the first couple of days, we don't want to mess around, right? We want to make your best offer the first offer that you make. Be aggressive. Show your strengths, okay? In terms of price and terms and closing date. And so if we're going to finally bid up here, let's be aggressive in terms of a closing date, and let's give them favorable terms. Like usually in a purchase, what I do is I ask the home seller to pay for the warranty, home warranty, and we ask the seller to pay for the title insurance. Here in Ropes and Ranch, there's what's called a community improvement fund. It's basically a fee to kind of join the community, if you will. It goes into the HOA pot. You can talk about that at another time. But maybe we do something instead of asking the seller to pay for the homeowner's insurance and the title insurance. Maybe we split that with them. Maybe we pay for the homeowner's insurance ourselves. In terms of the community improvement fund, maybe again, we have a ways to work with that. Okay, so we want to make our first offer a strong offer, and we want to show our strengths and say we're ready. In terms of closing date, we don't want to stretch it out to 45 or 50 or 60 days, right? Remember, the seller wants to move on as well. Okay, and so if the seller, and this is where that investigating can find out some information, that if the seller maybe has another house to go to, maybe they're building a house and this is their closing date, et cetera, then a strong, short closing date is what they're going to want. We have to also consider a lease back. Maybe they're building, and by the time we get to closing, whoops, the completion of the house is going to be 2 weeks delayed. Then maybe we offer a lease back for zero cash. Okay. Be aggressive. We want that house. It's the house you want. We have to be aggressive. Next, keep it simple. Okay. We don't want to throw in there a whole bunch of contingencies and trade-offs and kind of negotiating points, kind of all these bullet points. We want to keep it simple. Okay. Everybody's head is spinning. If you're the seller, you're selling your house and you're buying another one. Now, maybe you are too, you are as well. But with the Rose Realty team, we're going to make it simple for you. We're going to handle the details. We don't know about the seller. We don't know what kind of agent they're working with, where they're going. The agent could be brandy new, right? And so we want to make it as simple for the seller as possible. And what we're going to do is I'm going to now to talk to the other agent, and I want to say I'm going to make this as simple as for you as possible. I'm going to do the bulk of the work. No worries. Tell a buyer story. I love these things. So we're going to tell the story. We're going to talk about the features that we like in the house, storage, the yard, the gardening, that kind of stuff. I'm working with a guy right now, a lieutenant colonel in the excuse me, an ex-retired lieutenant colonel in the army. 32 years. He's got a great story. He retired from the army. He does his own thing with fixing up Harleys. Okay, but at the same time, he's working with vets. Okay, with PTSD and those kinds of things. He wants to move closer to his church so that he can serve the church and do some work in the church as well as his wife. Okay, great story. Okay, and so I wrote up this couple of paragraphs, included it in the offer letter, and that got us the house that they wanted. So we're going to tell your story, and we're going to see kind of why you're worthy, if you will, of this house. Because remember, this house is something that you want to buy. This house is something that these people lived in and cherished and maybe raised their kids for a number of years. And we want to tell them basically how we're going to care for that house, how we love the yard and the garden and the storage. And basically, we're nice people too. We're great people too because of our background, et cetera, et cetera. And here's why we're kind of deserving of your house. It's an interesting concept. And lastly, be responsive and easy to work with. That's on me, right? I'm going to tell the other agent, look, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to be easy to work with. I'm going to tell you stuff up front. I'm going to give you updates. We're going to be well organized. And most of all, we're going to be patient. We're not going to do a thing where we're calling them every couple of minutes to find out, hey, did you fix that water heater? Did you replace this? When are they moving out? When can we see the house again? We also don't want to go back and visit the house like 15 times, right? Because that just gets to be annoying. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to be easy to work with. We're going to be patient, and we're going to have really a low pressure in terms of the sellers, and in terms of the selling agent. Now I know you as my client, as my buyer, right? You're just as frazzled as they are. You're just as excited to get into that house as they are to sell it to you. But you know what? We're gonna take a pill. We're gonna calm down, right? And we're gonna make it easy for them to work with us. So that's 4.5 reasons on crafting an offer. Really, really good stuff here. Hey, now up in this, please again, up here is our YouTube channel, and I just put on the over here to my left is a QR code on how to get to my electronic business card. You can also go to it's right here, stevescard.us to download it, but also right there's my QR code. You can snap a picture of it with your phone. It'll take you right there, and bam, you can download it to your phone, send it to your friends. It's really better technology to make things easier on you. Next week, designing a home for your later years. This was kind of fascinating because we went through it. So designing your home for your later years meaning sort of not necessarily retirement, but maybe a step just before retirement, or it could also mean retirement because it's got a lot of good stuff in there. So designing a home for your later years. This is Steve DePaul, my friends, with the Rose Realty team. I'm going to bounce.